caped chaos lovers, welcome back to Holly Molly, where we spill the comic tea hotter than Batman's morning espresso. And today, we're diving into the latest DC scoop that might actually, dare I say it, make sense.
Both of these characters were absolutely incredible in the movie, and these could be great smaller scale stories. Like maybe you give me a Jimmy Olsen show that's focusing in on the Daily Planet and kind of wacky adventures they're going on. And Mr. Terrific really won me over. His character was just super cool. I loved his power, so I'd be down for a TV show with him as well. So for 2026, we pretty much know exactly what we're going to be getting from DC for the live action projects. At least we know we're going to be getting the Supergirl movie in July 2026, followed by the Clayface movie in September of 2026.
Yep, Screen Rant just broke down a major Wall Street Journal report detailing James Gunn and Peter Safran's master plan for the DC Universe. And it's giving full reboot energy with a side of smart strategy. No rushed crossovers. Number 17, Batman in one timeline. Just a clean, patient, interconnected rebuild, starting with Superman 2025 and slowly leading to a brand new Justice League.
DC plans to reestablish all their best-known characters in this new DC universe before eventually reuniting them in a Justice League film, which sounds like it's going to be very far down the line. Now, before I get to the confirmed movies and TV shows releasing in 2026 and the rest of the crazy news, first we got to talk about this fact that James Gunn is reportedly considering TV spin-off shows for Mr. Terrific and Jimmy Olsen from the Superman movie. Honestly, I would love this. Both of these characters were absolutely incredible in the movie, and these could be great smaller scale stories. Like maybe you give me a Jimmy Olsen show that's focusing in on the Daily Planet and kind of wacky adventures they're going on.
But wait, it gets juicier. Gunn's vision doesn't stop with the Man of Steel, so here's how we're breaking it down in today's supercharged lineup. Why DC is scrapping the old and betting it all on Superman, the spin-offs, who's getting a show and why it matters, how Gunn's plan compares to Marvel's Phase 1, but make it moodier, why the new Justice League won't be rushed, finally, and how DC might actually pull off what the DCEU never could, so tighten those utility belts and grab a snack, because today we're cracking open DC's best-kept plan since Bruce Wayne's secret server. Let's fly. So first off, let's talk about the obvious. DC wiped the slate clean. The old DCEU dead and buried. The Snyderverse, now a Tumblr aesthetic. Even standalone hits like Joker and the Batman are being kept at arm's length from the new core timeline. Why? Because James Gunn and Peter Safran don't just want a new universe, they want a universe that actually makes sense. Enter Superman 2025. According to the WSJ report, this film isn't just a reboot, it's the cornerstone, the emotional, thematic, and creative North Star for what's to come. Corran Sweat's Clark Kent isn't battling Doomsday or fighting Batman in his first outing. Instead, he's being used to re-establish tone, heart, and hope, things that the previous DC films often fumbled. It's like DC finally admitted, yeah, maybe we shouldn't have introduced our entire universe with a god-level alien punching buildings for 2 hours. Instead, they're now using Superman to tell a grounded, relatable story about identity, kindness, and navigating two worlds while planting seeds for future stories along the way. And let's not ignore the symbolic reset. Superman is the OG, the blueprint. Rebooting him first signals that DC wants to build up, not start at the top and work backward like before. Gunn said repeatedly, Superman is a story of kindness in a cruel world. That quote, it's basically the mission statement for the new DCU. And guess what? This new foundation is already being leveraged for something way bigger. Which brings us to... So you've got a new Superman, but what's next? According to insiders, the new Superman film won't be flying solo. It's spawning 2 major spin-off shows, each set to expand the universe and give much-needed spotlight to lesser-known DC legends. The first, Mr. Terrific, played by Eddie Gathegi in Superman 2025. This genius-level tech hero is a former Olympian turned super inventor. Think Tony Stark, but with less ego and more ethics. He's got brains, gadgets, and a clean moral compass, which in DC, that's rare. Why does Mr. Terrific matter? Because he represents the kind of diversity and depth DC has been missing. Giving him a standalone show shows DC's commitment to telling stories outside the Batman-Superman echo chamber. Next up, Jimmy Olsen, yes, the Daily Planet's own photo-snapping bestie of Superman, is reportedly getting his own HBO Max series too. And before you roll your eyes, hear me out. This isn't the goofy comic relief Jimmy. Word is they're leaning into a more grounded, emotionally rich version of him. Someone who reflects the human side of Metropolis while occasionally getting tangled in super mess. Think Marvel's Agent Carter meets the newsroom, with capes in the background. These spin-offs do two smart things. They build attachment to supporting characters early, so when they show up again, we care. They slow-roll the world building, allowing fans to explore Metropolis and its people long before the Justice League starts assembling. Gunn and Safran aren't just throwing darts here. They're laying bricks, carefully, deliberately, and with the kind of patience we haven't seen from DC in, well, ever. Okay, let's talk about big picture strategy. James Gunn's new DCU blueprint is essentially DC's Phase 1, but with a twist. Remember when Marvel started with Iron Man and slowly assembled the Avengers over 5 years? That's the model Gunn's adapting, but with a more curated, creative edge. Instead of rushing into crossovers like the DCEU did, looking at you, Batman v Superman, the new DCU is taking its time, and get this. While Marvel leaned hard into military-industrial imagery, Gunn's DC is human first. It's about people like Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, Amanda Waller, real humans in a world of gods. Also, let's not forget, Gunn knows both sides. He built Guardians of the Galaxy from nothing and turned them into household names. Now, he's trying to do that again, with characters like Booster Gold, The Authority, and Mr. Terrific. Obscure but lovable, that's his niche. But unlike Marvel's Phase 1, which sometimes felt like a series of origin stories waiting for Thanos to show up, Gunn's plan threads its characters into one emotional universe from day one. They don't just exist in the same world. They react to each other, reference each other, and help shape Superman's journey. Another difference? Gunn's not overloading fans with quantity. The plan is reportedly to release 2 major films per year, 1 major animated or live-action series per year. That's it. Clean, digestible, no fatigue. Compare that to Marvel's 6 shows and 4 movies a year chaos. Yeah, DC might actually win the quality war here. In short, this isn't just a Marvel copy. It's DC Phase 1 with better lighting, deeper emotion, and actual patience. Shocking, right? Now, this is the part where every DC fan takes a deep breath of relief. There is no Justice League movie in Phase 1. Because if there's one thing the original DCEU messed up royally, it was trying to Avengers their way to success in just 2 films. The result? A Justice League that nobody was emotionally invested in. But Gunn and Safran are smarter. They know that to earn that big crossover moment, you need to make us care. So instead of throwing the league together, they're letting the characters breathe. The Wall Street Journal report says a new Justice League is definitely coming, but not until we've had proper introductions to each major player. That means Superman's solo journey comes first. Batman's world, the brave and the bold, will exist separately before blending in. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, will explore her own identity and trauma. Even the weirder teams like The Authority are getting their time to shine. It's like DC is treating this as a story-driven mosaic, not a big bang blockbuster moment. And you know what? That's how Endgame worked. It took Marvel 10 years to earn that Avengers Assemble moment. DC doesn't need to wait that long, but it does need to earn our trust first. There's also a smart business reason behind this. By delaying the league, DC gets time to test new characters, see who fans actually vibe with, and avoid putting all their capes in one basket. And think of the excitement build-up when they finally do announce the next Justice League movie after we've met everyone, after we've seen them struggle and grow on their own. Oh, it's gonna hit different. Like goosebumps through your Superman suit kind of different. So no, we're not getting Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, and Superman flying together by 2026, and that's actually the best news DC fans could hear right now. Alright fam, let's get to the heart of the matter. How is this new DCU actually different from the doomed DCEU? What's stopping this from becoming just another beautifully lit cinematic train wreck with capes? The answer? It's not about one thing, it's about everything changing at once. First, creative vision. In the DCEU, it felt like no one was ever really steering the ship. Zack Snyder had a plan, then Joss Whedon rewrote the plan, then a bunch of studio execs panicked and lit the plan on fire. What we got? A patchwork of tones, timelines, and awkward team-ups that felt like Tinder matches made by algorithm. Now, James Gunn and Peter Safran are the actual captains, not just for one movie, but for all DC content across film, TV, animation, and streaming. That's huge. That means cohesion. That means finally, a Superman in one show won't contradict Batman in another film. No more multiverse mayhem just to fix continuity errors. Second, tone and timing. The DCEU kept rushing. They dropped Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Doomsday, and Lex Luthor all in one movie. Now, we're slow cooking. Superman. Legacy is the emotional launch pad. Then spin-off. Then new characters. Then maybe a Justice League. Third, smaller characters are finally getting love. Mr. Terrific, The Authority, Booster Gold, even Creature Commandos. DC's not just leaning on the bat signal, they're fleshing out a world. Fourth, risk and range. The DCEU tried to be Marvel, but grim. The new DCU, it's embracing variety. They're not just copying the MCU's homework, they're doodling on it in crayon and writing something wild in the margins. And fifth, heart. Gunn's Superman isn't about power, it's about kindness. His Supergirl isn't hopeful, she's hurt and complicated. This world has depth, it has stakes, it has feelings. That's the difference. If DC can stay patient, trust its creators, and not chase instant billions, they just might pull off what the DCEU never could. A universe we actually care about. Alright, Molly Mob, time to land this jet. After years of chaotic recasts, canceled movies, and multiverse migraines, it looks like DC Studios finally has a plan, and it actually makes sense. Here's the play. Rebuild the emotional core with a soft but strong Superman, and most importantly, tell stories that actually make us feel something. This isn't just corporate course correcting. This is James Gunn and Peter Safran trying to rebuild trust. Trust with the fans, trust with creators, trust that these stories aren't just products, they're personal. And let's be honest, after everything we've been through as DC fans, we needed a moment to believe again. This just might be that moment. But here's the real question. Will Warner Brothers actually let them cook? Because even the best plan in the world means nothing if studio execs panic and start meddling when one movie doesn't break records. If they stick to this roadmap, stay patient, stay weird, stay heartfelt, we might finally get the DC universe we always dreamed of. So what do you think, Team Holly Molly? Is this the start of something iconic, or just another blueprint that'll be tossed out in 2 years? Drop your supercharged opinions in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap that bell harder than Wonder Woman hits a shield wall. Until next time, signing off with truth, justice, and a halfway decent cinematic universe.